What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the More Than Love podcast. I'm your host, Terry Duran.
And I'm your co-host, Jay Donald.
What's going on, y'all? This week we're going to be talking about dating and social media and a lot of the different ways that social media has started to impact relationships and marriages. But before we get into the topic of the night, we like to start off the podcast with a segment that we call Terry's Top 3, where we basically highlight the 3 most interesting or most controversial posts from my Instagram page at Terry Duran. So we got a couple of interesting posts this week that we're going to be discussing. The first post that I wanted to talk about was a post that I put up that said, "I'm not looking for anything serious," and it shows a screenshot. It says, "I thought both of us agreed on not wanting a relationship. You mean to tell me this whole time you did want a relationship? Now I look like the bad guy for not being ready for a relationship that we both never wanted. All I'm doing is sticking to the original agreement, not stringing you along. You said you didn't want anything serious." And then her response, it said, "That's because I never thought that I would fall this deeply in love with you. You were not even my type at the beginning. This was supposed to be a temporary because I never thought I would want you." So now we don't have the whole context of the conversation, but it's pretty clear that this is outlining a situationship where they both had an agreement at the beginning. It was just gonna be some kicking it or something, friends with benefits, something to that effect, but nothing serious. And as soon as her feelings changed, her behavior obviously is changing. And I seen him reference some of the victim terminology, the stringing me along. Whenever these situationships or whatever comes up on my page, women will always jump in the comments and say things like, "The man should cut it off because he knows she can't handle it." You know what I'm saying? As if women don't control who they spend their time with and who they get a pussy to. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you can't have it both ways. You can't be grown and be a grown ass woman and get to decide what you're gonna do with your life, and can't nobody tell you what to do, and you independent, etc. But then when it comes time to be accountable for the decisions that you make, now it's somebody else's fault. Now it's
this is more common. This is pretty more common than people think here. It happens sometimes, and when it comes down to she's upset because she didn't get what she wanted out of it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, and what it seems to be is an attempt to guilt trip the dude into giving her what she wants. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm glad that this guy could clearly articulate himself. He said, "I'm not stringing you along. I'm sticking to the agreement that we agreed to." Now, a woman can always choose to stop fucking him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
And he'll just have to react accordingly. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of where you have to push things with some women. And from a male perspective, every situation that you get involved with a woman is not going to last forever. So
absolutely not. Like, the woman that's supposed to be, I guess, I say, the jump off, for lack of a better term here, I mean, that's not going to last forever. Somebody's going to, if you're not going to, pursue something longer term, somebody will eventually.
Well, that may or may not be the case. You know what I'm saying? Like, every woman does not have the personality and the value system that is conducive to having a relationship or making a man want to commit to her. So it's possible that she could end up with somebody else, but it's possible that nobody wants to commit to her. There are a lot of women that...
I mean, that's a possibility. But, the bigger point here is I don't think, the friends with benefits or the booty call, I don't think that's going to be forever here.
Oh, no. You can't expect it to be forever, but what you can't do is try to flip the script and portray it as if you were strung along, you were taken advantage of, or as if you were deceived into continuing to enjoy his companionship.
If you say, "Hey, what is this?" Well, we're friends with benefits. I'm I'm not looking for anything right now, and you accept that willfully,
Yeah.
then you can't get mad what happens after here.
Yeah, I mean, and
Work.
that's
if you want a relationship out of it, then you should say, listen, that's not what I want. I want a relationship.
Well, you can always people's feelings change over time. That's to be expected.
Definitely, no doubt.
And so when your feelings change, you can come tell the person, hey, I didn't realize I was gonna fall in love, but like you can tell them how you feel. That does not mean that they have to feel the same way, and that does not mean that you can treat them as if they're doing something negative if they don't agree to do what you want them to do. You know what I'm saying? Like now, if you can say I can't handle fucking you, and I'm knowing you still single and can do what you want. That's cool. That's understandable. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean that he ain't gonna get you try to still come through and fuck, or he ain't gonna try to get you to change your mind. But you can say that. You can handle the situation like that. Like you can choose to separate yourself from the situation, or at least attempt to. At least take the accountability on, look, I realize I can't handle this. I'm gonna make a conscious effort to eliminate myself from the situation. But I mean, that don't mean that everybody can get horny and drunk text somebody or end up doing something that the next day you like, man, I shouldn't have done that.
That's definitely a different variable, so that's a very good possibility.
Yeah, I mean, but I'll have a lot more respect for the woman that makes a conscious effort to leave a situation compared to the woman that plays the victim.
Going with the situation willfully there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and then get upset when it doesn't turn out to the way she wants it, and then say, oh, well, it's God's fault for shutting them off.
Right. I mean, that's the part that's so frustrating because
I mean, you can't have it both ways.
and there's no way to predict what's gonna happen out of a woman can cut off a dude that says or does something she don't like at any moment. So to act as if a man is supposed to have some guaranteed foresight on what's supposed to happen between y'all, that's impossible to do. You know what I mean? And so that demonstrates a person with a flawed perspective on how dating and romantic relationships actually play out. There is no way to predict what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? There is no way to know if the person's going to fall in love with somebody else or end up with a baby with somebody else. Like, you don't know none of those things. So you have to take dating situations as they go. That's why you get men to say, let's go with the flow and see where things happen. If we both agree that we want to be together, then that's what'll happen. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of the most transparent way that men try to go about it. All right, let's move on. The next post that I put up was something about cheating. So it said, most men have a natural desire to sleep with multiple women, but that is usually something he can control. The problem arises when you combine his natural desires with a woman that knowingly or unknowingly does things to drive him away and eliminate the connection he has with her. That's when most men lose the self-control they used to have and cheat. You know, and so the point that I was really trying to convey with that is most happy people that are really happy with their relationship and their spouse, don't cheat. That's one consistent thing that you'll see among people. Most people that are genuinely happy with their spouse or their relationship don't cheat. They usually come to the conclusion that it's not worth it when presented with those opportunities or those scenarios. And that's what most people do. Most people that when they first get in a relationship, when everything is all good, a man can pass up pussy easy. He can pass up opportunities or pass up exes that wanted to fuck him still. He can pass up situations that could be very beneficial, that he could feel very confident he could get away with. You know what I mean? And that's what most men do. They pass up opportunities, but it gets very little to no recognition from the female perspective. You know what I mean? Because oftentimes women look at that situation compared to how it is for them. And so they have this kind of mindset where I pass up dick all the time, so it should be easy for you to pass up pussy. But what they often fail to account for is most women only want to be with one man at a time, regardless of their relationship status. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Regardless of what's going on, most women are monogamously involved with the person that they fucking, especially when they catch feelings or fall in love. A lot of men are not like that. You know what I'm saying? And so when you have somebody that's used to fucking multiple people on a regular basis, and then they go to being monogamous, that's a much bigger task than somebody that's only slept with one person their whole life. Just being now you have somebody to call your boyfriend, but it's really no different.
You're just dealing with you're dealing with one man at a time.
Yeah. That's no different than what you.
Year,
Yeah, it's no drastic difference, and that's how it's often portrayed. Like women will portray it as it's just the same. We have to turn down more dick. You know what I'm saying? Like they portray it as if they struggle to with monogamy as much as men do. And it's like, come on, man. Even when y'all single, even when you have the opportunity, you single, you ain't got no connections. You still won't let your neighbor just beat it up just because. You know what I'm saying? Like so don't portray it like y'all just wish y'all want to be out here fucking multiple dudes. Because that's not how they operate.
Earlier, a lot of times it's not looked at as the things that drove the man away to make him want to go out and cheat or.
Yeah, I mean, and that's
make there an opportunity,
Yeah, I mean, well, when you behave in ways that push a man away or decrease his connection to you, then that opens the door for him to establish a connection with somebody else, to make a decision that he used to turn down or that he would have declined if his state of mind and his feelings were different. You know what I'm saying? And so,
even every time you see women try to use sex as say they bought into you're not gonna get sex tonight because he did this, or maybe seem as if it's a privilege or a surprise for him.
It's a reward system involved.
Yeah, exactly.
It's punitive measures involved. Like women that do those type of things, yeah, you may be able to use those things in your favor for a while, but eventually
that's gonna run its course eventually.
It's either gonna cause a relationship to end, or it's going to significantly increase the chances of that he do accept some head, that he do end up eating some pussy, or doing something that he ain't got no business doing. And that's just the reality of it. It's not an excuse. It's not saying that it's okay to do that, but that's how the mentality goes. It's really no different than somebody doing something when they're desperate for money. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, if a person's just they got money and they got consistent income, then they not gonna hit you over the head just to get some groceries. But when somebody's in a desperate state, they'll make irrational decisions. They'll make risky decisions. They'll do things that can be very costly or, life altering. And that's the same type of thing that happens when a man is unhappy with his woman or she's behaving in a way that makes him feel distant from her. That's when the coworker that he been thought she was fine, but he never said nothing. He never approached it. He never flirted with her like that. Now he may say or do something that he would not have normally said, and that's really the only point that I was trying to make. Like nothing is guaranteed. There's nothing that can give you an assurance on how somebody's going to react or the outcome, but you can significantly increase or decrease the chances of whether it's a favorable outcome or it's something that you don't want to happen. You know what I mean? And that's kind of the mentality that I want women to get into. Like, no, there's nothing you can do to prevent cheating, but you can significantly decrease your partner's desire to want to cheat on you. You can decrease the chances of it happening by not being argumentative, not being, like by having effective communication, by not being hypocritical, by not having one-sided, type of things that only benefit you. Like those type of mentalities and behaviors increase the chances that you get cheated on or left. And obviously, if your goal is to have a healthy relationship, then you should be doing things that decrease the chances of something ending your relationship. And cheating or pushing a person away or making them fall out of love are very significant things that kill a lot of relationships. All right, let's see. The last post that I wanted to talk about, I don't know when that it was. It said A lot of people make the mistake of treating red flags like deal breakers, and they're two different things. A red flag is something you observe that may indicate a problem exists. So you have to get more information to confirm or deny the suspicion. And that's the step that is usually gets skipped. And that's just kind of me talking about assumptions in a different way. You know, I talk about the problems that come with making assumptions and making relationship or life decisions based off assumptions all the time. And when in this particular post, I was talking about dating red flags, and there people that confuse something that's just a red flag or something that gets your attention and requires some investigation. It requires you to gather more information, figure out if what you thought or what you noticed was really a problem. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you can get an explanation that explains a red flag. Sometimes you can get a different context or a different perspective on a situation that can clear up something that you thought was a red flag or you initially thought would be a problem. You know, every time you spot a red flag, it does not mean that the person is doing something wrong or they have some type of negative malicious intent. All it means is you need to get more information. It's something that stood out. That's why it's red. When you have something that's highlighted or something that has some type of alert, it's there to get your attention. And the problem is when people treat those things as if they're just automatic deal breakers. Like you'll never get to a healthy relationship if you do that, because you're going to have disagreements or things that you have different values about with the person that you end up with. And that's why there's that it's so important to have compromises. You know what I mean? And so if you just treat any difference or anything that is a red flag and without even confirming whether it's a problem or not, then you're just going to be eliminating quality people without a good cause. You know what I mean?
I would say how big is the red flag? What is it? I mean, like you said, there's different kinds of red flags here. If it's a red flag, it seems like a character flaw. You know.
Red flag is a very, very broad term. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like it could be something in the way that they treat others. It could be something in their behavior. It could be something about they past. Like there are all kind of things that could come up as a red flag. You know what I'm saying? Like you could learn something about them that they were hiding. You know, something that's important or significant. He told you he only had 2 kids. You find out he got 4. You know what I'm saying? Like there are all type of things that can happen. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like whether it's information being revealed, whether it's you catching them in a lie, whether it's, you know, just there is no limit to or specific type of examples that I can give, because everybody's going to interpret red flags to be something different, but it's still going to be something that gets your attention and is indicating that there's potentially a problem or something that you're not comfortable with. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you just have to do your due diligence to figure out if that's the case before making a major decision. Before you cut somebody off and block their number and block them from your page and all that, make sure that what your assumption was is actually true. You know what I'm saying? Like that's really all that is, because you, especially for women, you're not really in a position to be cutting off quality men for dumb reasons. That is behavior that is extremely counterproductive to reaching your relationship goals. So that's why I spend so much time trying to talk women out of it and prevent them from doing those type of things. Looks like we're about to move into our next segment of the show that we call Terry Tell 'em, where I'm actually going to respond to a question that was submitted to us on our Instagram page, the More Than Love Podcast. Those of you that would like to submit a question, be sure to hit us up in our DM. So what we got this week, Jay? What we looking at?
So this week we have, do you consider dating a man that's been separated a whole year as the same thing as dating a married man? That's a pretty straightforward question here.
Yeah, I mean, well, technically it is still dating a married man, but it's not the same thing as being a side chick for a married man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think that's kind of what the question was. It's not the same thing as you just being a willing side chick.
I mean, technically by law, like you said, technically by law he's married.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Not with the person. So, like you said, I think as if you're dating a married man who's, you know,
living with his
wife.
Yeah.
You know, either you're a side chick or you're his girlfriend number two, whatever the case may be. There.
Yeah. Now.
So no, it's not the same thing. There.
Yeah, it's definitely not an app. It's not the exact same. So there is a significant difference between the two. Now dating a man that's separated is extremely risky. You know what I'm saying? Because there's always the potential that they could reconcile the marriage. You know what I mean? So like you never know. You know what I'm saying? Especially if there's kids involved and going through the divorce process, a lot of people change their mind and are able to put their pride to the side in a lot of cases to decide to stay together.
Assets involved. I mean, you know, and we know those things get messy. So, like you said, they might work it out. They might decide to reconcile.
Right.
So like you said, there's a huge risk factor in doing that there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like a woman that is just willingly smashing a married man, you're a side chick or a homewrecker if your intent is to get him to leave his wife.
Well, like I said, you know, it's not the same thing as dating or being with him in hopes that he leaves his wife to be with you. Like I said, that's now that is a situation where you would have to hope that he, you know, goes through with the divorce. You know,
yeah.
You know, obviously it's the whole process there. You know,
because you don't want to be left
X amount of months or whatever case it is.
Yeah, you don't want to get left holding the bag where you invested your time. You done got an apartment or signed a lease or something.
You know,
and then he just go back home.
Years in, and it's like, okay, when you get divorced and he decides.
Yeah, I mean, but
maybe he changes his mind, she hasn't changed his heart, and just doesn't do it.
Yeah, but she mentioned that it's been a year, so I think that's a pretty significant amount of time for somebody to at least feel 100% confident that they want to get divorced. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's always risky to date somebody that's separated.
Right.
So you have to know that going into it.
What we can take from this, you know, there's no guarantee that this person is going to fully go through the divorce, and you know, you're going to have this relationship and live happy ever after here.
Yeah. You're not going to get no assurances that they're going through with the divorce until they actually sign the paperwork and pay the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and I think even then you can still cancel or change your mind at the last minute. So you're never going to be able to. I waited a year. Is it guaranteed he's going to leave his wife, or is it guaranteed he's going to go through with the divorce? There's no way to get that information.
Right.
But
there's no guarantee, like there's no sort of guarantee until that paper's signed and there's a divorce decree saying those two are divorced. Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, until it's finalized, that's the only time it's going to be final. So just to respond to the question, no, I don't view those dating a married man and a separated man the same, though, even though technically under the eyes of the law it would be. So we're about to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be getting into our topic of the night. We're going to be talking about dating and social media. So it should be pretty interesting. You're listening to the More Than Love podcast. We'll be back momentarily. All right, everybody, welcome back. You're listening to the More Than Love podcast. And tonight we are talking about dating and social media. Now, these two topics come up an awful lot, especially with what I do, discussing relationships and giving relationship advice on social media. But social media within itself creates a lot of problems for relationships in a lot of different ways. You know what I mean? Like, so that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Some of the different ways that social media can impact your dating life or your relationship. Now these things that I'm going to be talking about, they're not in ranked or they're not in no specific order or anything. I just took notes on different aspects or different ways that I've seen social media impact relationships. So the first thing that I wanted to say was social media exposes an awful lot of insecurity. I would say that that's one of the biggest things that it does. You know what I mean? It shows you how many people really don't trust the person that they with. You know what I mean? Because social media and just the internet in general has created so many avenues of communication that makes cheating more prevalent and more accessible. You know what I mean? And so there's this cloud of insecurity that comes with people that have or dating somebody that has a smartphone, that's on Facebook, that's on Instagram, that has different. I mean, they can download Tinder and different apps to interact with and meet other people. So the technology that we have has increased our ability to meet others and figure out. I mean, you can meet people to date seriously, or you can try to find people that's just down to fuck. So it creates a lot of insecurity for men and women. You know what I mean? And a lot of trust issues get exposed when once social media comes up in a relationship. You know, and that's why some people eliminate social media altogether. You know, they'll get in a relationship and deactivate their Facebook and stuff like that to avoid some of these potential problems. All right, so let's see. What else did I have? So it said it creates the ability for people to meet and interact with people from their past and other social circles. So you can smash somebody from college. You can link up with somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like you can look up people by name, by high school, by graduating class, by different things. So connections that used to just get lost and you would just never hear from them again or only see them at the class reunion. Now you can be in their DM. Now they can see pictures and videos of, oh, you still fine. Oh, such and such is still cute. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you know what I'm saying? So it opens the door for so many other romantic interactions. And in a lot of ways, it makes it more difficult for people to effectively date. Because some people...
I think when you look at social media, it gives you more access to, different people. Like you said, you can let somebody up by high school, find someone you went to high school with, somebody you went to college with, somebody you used to work with,
yep.
At your first job.
Yeah. And it's, you have the ability to exchange
right.
pictures.
You're looking like, damn want to slash that back then. You know what? What the hell? I'll give it a try now.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so, I mean, it's understandable why so many people have trust issues and so many people, react the way that they react to things. But having an insecure mindset or trying to cheat proof your relationship and all that type of stuff, that eventually causes you to get the results that you've been trying to avoid.
There's no way to cheat proof a relationship as we spoke about in the earlier segment. There's no way to cheat proof. It's just there's ways to reduce, the possibilities.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like
and that's more or less through, stuff you're made of stuff you do.
Yeah, it's how you make a person feel, how you treat them has a big role on their desire to cheat or interact with other people. Another thing that is a direct result of social media on the dating world is people can portray their lives and relationships however they want on social media. And so what that does, it makes a lot of people feel like they're not good enough. Their dating situation is not good enough. They're comparing their actual dating circumstance to what they see on their timelines and what they see other people posting.
And I think that coincides with the first thing you said, insecurity, because I think that's another insecurity where you're comparing somebody else's relationship that you see on social media, and you're basing your relationship off of that, or you're trying to emulate that. And mind you, this is just what you see on social media. This is what you just see on social. And anybody can portray whatever they want on social media.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? You don't know what's going on outside of social media.
Right. You have to.
For all you know.
You have to be grounded enough to have those glasses on. To have that reality check glasses where you're not idolizing other people's relationship based off something they posted. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not using the image that's portrayed to you to make all these assumptions about. You know what I mean? Like, yes, a couple posting a picture can indicate that they happy together. But it couldn't. They could have been arguing before they took the picture. You know what I'm saying? Like,
like I said, it could be a good, it could be a abusive relationship outside of social. I mean, you don't know that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, and especially like with the generation that we're in now, we're all a screenshot away from looking like a damn fool. All it takes is one screenshot to get posted, and everybody you know could be tagging you or hitting your phone up, telling you about some shit that's involving your relationship or your spouse. You know what I'm saying? Like, so.
Right, and for social media, I think especially with the relationships, posting relationships on social media, a lot of people do it for instant gratification as well.
Yeah, they're trying to prove something. They're trying to prove something to others.
Are having movie night. They went to breakfast. Did X, Y, and Z.
And that creates a problem because now you're embarrassed when you break up. You're embarrassed when something bad happens. Like, and that's kind of your own fault. Because if you're not posting all your business, if you're not putting everything that you're doing on social media, you don't give the public, a chart where they can, I ain't saw a picture of her and her man in this amount of time. You know what I mean? Like, and so those type of things the assumptions people make off them don't be accurate either. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it creates confusion and drama in a multitude of different ways. You get rumors and assumptions because of something somebody else posted, something somebody else said, a picture somebody got tagged in, a mistaken identity. It could be all type of things that can create relationship conflicts. You know what I mean? But the people that feel like if you ain't posting me on social media, you hiding me, or you don't really care if you ain't posting your wife. Like those type of things are not accurate because sometimes some people have very good reasons why they don't do those things. You know what I mean? Like me, for example, I don't hardly ever post my wife and my daughter.
Right. I was just getting ready to say that.
Yeah.
I followed this social media for about 6 years now, and there's only one time I can recall that you posted your wife, and I believe that was Mother's Day a few years back. That's the only time I recall that you posted it on your social media page.
Well, I've done it a couple. I posted her and my daughter recently, but I do it. Okay. I do it more often now because I'm more conscious of it. But it comes with a lot of negativity. You know what I mean? Like it gets a lot of love. Don't even like showing your family and all that type of stuff gets a lot of love. But it also creates a lot of negativity as well. You get hater comments, you get trolls. And then there are a lot of people that form an opinion about you based off what you post. And so when you do post your actual spouse or your family or whatnot, they're comparing it to the image that they had of your family or your spouse. And it's like, so they'll be like, oh, you made it seem like you was married to Halle Berry. And I'm like, I ain't made it seem like nothing. I made it seem like I'm married to somebody that is attractive, that got her shit together, that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't make it seem like nothing above average. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a dude, I'm above average. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got my shit together. I'm in shape. I'm considered to be handsome by most women or whatnot. So it's not me portraying some I'm the shit, my life is perfect type of image. Like, no, that's not the reality of it. You know what I mean? And so
I think I think there are a lot of people that do post, okay, I have the perfect relationship, I have the perfect family.
If you have the reality glasses I just mentioned, you know that no relationship is perfect.
Right.
You know that every couple has disagreements and arguments. So you won't get suckered into that type of, they portray their life as perfect. Like you should be smart enough to know that their life is not perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like it makes sense why people only disclose positive things. They're not gonna screenshot their negative account. They're not gonna you know what I'm saying? Like people don't post their dumb decisions because there's a theory in communication called the non-disclosure theory. And it basically just states that people don't want to disclose things to the public that makes them get viewed in a negative light. And that makes sense. Chicks ain't posting stuff that show that they a hoe. You know what I'm saying? Like they not showing the text. Like they're not putting out information. Well, not all. Obviously, there are some crash dummies that do post things that portray themselves in a very negative light. But for most people, the logical person, like they intentionally edit things to not portray themselves that way. That's why the person in the raggedy ass hoopty, you don't ever see their steering wheel. You see somebody's steering wheel with her nails, it's a Benz, it's a BMW, it's you know what I'm saying? Like that's intentional.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you see somebody that you just happen to notice the double R's on the headrest, that's intentional. You know what I'm saying? Like people are trying to portray themselves in a certain light. And being on the other side of it, you kind of have to a degree. Like I'm not really a selfie social media type person, right? So it took time for me to get comfortable with being the person that y'all see, to get used to being on camera and doing all that type of stuff, right? But now there are different things. I can't just get up and go live. I gotta make sure I shaved and I brushed my hair and I got on some clothes. Like otherwise, all I'm gonna do is get roasted and like
right.
You have to prepare for what social media brings. You know what I'm saying? And that really plays a factor when it comes to relationships. You gotta have tough skin these days. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what else. Now we also know that there are a lot of people that use social media to expose other people and to throw shade.
Right.
So those same people that are portraying this happy marriage and y'all holding hands in the store and all this type of stuff, you got side chicks and other people that are just as motivated to embarrass you or expose your relationship as a fraud. So you have to deal with that as well. You know what I'm saying? Like you got ex-friends, you know what I'm saying, that you've confided in and told your business to. Now y'all beefing.
Right.
Now she just go on Facebook Live and air you all the way out.
Exposing you to the world.
Now she posting screenshots where you asked her to borrow $200 and like all this type of stuff happens on social media and can impact your relationship directly. You know what I'm saying? Like because all it takes is for somebody to expose something that you shouldn't have told them. You confide in your spouse's personal business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then
now things go south.
Yeah, I mean, and
all your dirty laundry.
But it also goes that way from pillow talk too. You know what I mean? Like you've seen where somebody a chick confronts the side chick, and the side chick go all in. Bitch, that's why I you know what I'm saying? I've been all in your house, in your stove, and your right, you know what I'm saying, thing don't work. Like where you like, well damn, and I'm the one that got you that comforter. You know what I'm saying? Like she's telling some very intimate details of your personal life or your house. Now you're humiliated. Like so all these type of things play a factor in our potential, ways that social media can impact your relationship or your dating scenario. And it's so crazy now it's just so many different stories, and some of them are so outrageous they don't seem real. You know what I'm saying? Like stories where, a chick will be like, man, I've been dating this dude for 2 years and then I just happened to see a picture, he got tagged and he got married last weekend. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that really happens to people. You know what I'm saying? So finding out something or just seeing something on your timeline or that you got tagged in can have a drastic impact on your relationship instantly. You know what I mean? Let's see. Now, now another way that social media really hurts relationship is for people that vent on social media. You got into it with your man. Now you posting memes and you posting all kind of quotes or whatnot, outlining your argument with your man. That kills relationships very like an assassin. You know what I'm saying? Like airing your dirty laundry on social media is a no-no. Like, I understand it's easy to get sympathy that way. It's easy to portray yourself as a victim when you post something on social media, especially for women. You know what I mean? Other women instantly gravitate and support that. You know what I mean? But that is not a way to maintain a healthy relationship. If you feel the need to go vent and tell your personal business to your followers, you are doing a disservice to your relationship, and you are significantly decreasing the chance that your relationship lasts long term. You know what I mean?
But I don't see how you expect it to work if you're every time you have a problem, you're going to social media, you're going to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and posting something that happened in your relationship.
Yeah, I mean, man, some people just don't have the self-control and the mentality to just simply take a step back and evaluate, why am I doing this? What am I getting out of this? Like, having a bunch of comments telling you that what you should do with your personal life ain't helping you. You know what I'm saying? Like
do you really need to go to social media? If you say, I told him to make sure the lights off when he leaves the house, and he's so dumb for leaving the lights on after I told him to make sure he took off the beat down to go to work or whatever.
Man,
do you really have to put that on social media?
Man, people put stuff way worse than that.
I think people put stuff way worse.
He gave me an STD and I took him back, and he had a baby and I took it back, and some women will be so. I mean, well, not just women, man. It's men, women. Some people post their situations on social media that put out so much information. It causes them their relationship to get judged and scrutinized, no matter what happens going forward. You know what I'm saying? Like, because now, and you can't be a year later complaining about him, because those same followers gonna be like, well, shit, you the one that took his dirty dick ass back. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you have to be conscious of what you put out there, and that's why it's better off to just not get into that at all. You know what I'm saying? You are much better off discussing your relationship problems with the person you are having the problems with directly. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. You're definitely just better handling it between the both of you rather than, taking it to social media, where I'm sure nothing is going to get accomplished. I mean, even people that shows feel like they care, but some of them are just going to act like they care, but not offering any real solutions there. 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes them feel good at the moment. It's something done for a temporary fix, and once that fix is gone, or once that feeling is gone, or the actual repercussions of what you did starts to come back, it's usually not worth it. You know what I mean?
Right. And like I said, at the end of the day, you better know about your relationship with social. I mean, you're the one that still has to go back and deal with that situation, deal with the person, that you're with there.
Yeah. And the most obvious way that social media has impacted relationships these days is all the drama over thirst trap pics. People are mad. Women are mad at men for liking pics of chicks twerking and big booties and cute models, etc. You know what I'm saying? And man, there are people that are very serious about this. They stalk their partner. They in their phone. They blocking people. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're doing everything possible to try to prevent them from being able to look at pictures, to slide in DMs, etc. And all of those things are rooted in insecurity. You know what I mean? Like, secure people don't do that. And it takes a lot to be secure enough in yourself and your relationship to not feel the need to do that. You know what I'm saying? To understand that it's okay to double tap a picture of somebody cute. It doesn't mean anything extra. It doesn't automatically mean that he's trying to fuck her. It doesn't automatically mean they're about to slide in their DMs. It could just be a case where they like the picture and they keep it moving. You know what I mean? But if you don't have enough trust in your partner to give them that benefit of the doubt, then do you really have the foundation in place for a healthy relationship? I don't think so. You know what I mean? Because you're never going to be able to get to something long term if you think your partner's trying to fuck over you every chance they get. Like that. That's just the way that you treat them and the way that the accusations you make is going to eventually cause them to feel some type of way. Especially if they're not really doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so social media.
Honestly, that's one of the most heaviest things to have a problem with somebody like. I mean, if he didn't slide in our DMs, they're not corresponding in any way, then I don't see the problem with somebody just liking a picture here.
Well, see, that's like a kind of a chicken and an egg type of situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the only way a woman knows whose pics he's liking and what he's doing is if she's stalking him, which already means she's insecure. So if she's already insecure, well, shit, she was probably going through his phone before he had an Instagram, before he was even on social media. So it's like,
definitely.
So the social media may not be the cause of the insecurity or the insecure behavior. It's just the most prevalent thing, and the thing that she's using to make assumptions based off of. So it like I said, it creates this dynamic where when it's mixed with insecurity, man, it makes it almost impossible for a relationship to last. And
absolutely.
and I read a statistic, over 70% of divorces, I think it says since 2009, Facebook has been mentioned in the divorce paperwork.
Oh, shit, wow.
And just to add on top of that, like I did a research project on social media in grad school. Now it wasn't the topic that I selected. I did a report showing that men being on Facebook increase their romantic relationships with women. And what my research actually showed was that my hypothesis was true. And for some of the reasons we mentioned earlier, you can connect with people you used to know, coworkers, etc. You can talk privately. So there were a lot of reasons why I felt that would be the case. But my theory was confirmed. But what it also showed was that even the men that didn't cheat still got opportunities to cheat, still got nude pictures, still got sexual conversations, still got opportunities that they declined. You know what I mean? Like, so simply being on Facebook increased men's romantic relationships by a significant amount. And so that was 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, so
wow.
So things have.
I could see that number probably has gone up since, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's you know, that's right around the time when, you know, social media really started to grow up, you know, to what it is now.
Yeah, I mean, that was like before Plenty of Fish and some of these apps where it GPSes you people within 10 miles that you can see if you think they cute or not, and you can instantly start communicating. So the ability to have, you know, it's pushed us towards having a hookup culture where people have casual sex and all these type of things a lot more, a lot faster than it used to happen back in the days. But it also impacts people once they get in committed relationships. That threat or just the knowledge of how easy it is to meet somebody else that will possibly be down for sex is overwhelming for a lot of people. So social media, you know, has a really big, it requires a lot of management and self-awareness in order to not have it impact your relationship in a negative way. You know, you have to actually trust your partner. You have to be on the same page when it comes to social media and people outside of your relationship. Otherwise, there's a very good chance that one of the components that come with it can eventually plant the seed that ends up killing your relationship. Looks like we are up against the clock, man. It's been a real interesting episode. I'd like to give a shout out to everybody for tuning in. I'd like to tell y'all to make sure you go to my website, Terry Duran Books. Check out my novel, Game Recognized Game, or my relationship book. It's called It's Not That Complicated. I also have my dating compatibility guide available for download as well. Jay, appreciate another episode. This has been another episode of the More Than Love podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
All right.